Hey there everybody, how's it going? So in this little tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to do your first little exercises in Adobe Photoshop. Let me just preface this by saying that the very first time you open up Photoshop and attempt to use it for any reason, unless you have any experience using any of these tools before, it is going to seem kind of overwhelming. And that is normal, and that is okay. I'm going to encourage you to stick with it, and the more you use these tools, the easier that this becomes, and the more fluid and the more native this is going to come to you. So let's get started with this. I'm going to go ahead and shrink myself down a little bit and stick myself over here to the left side. So the first thing you're going to do, guys, is you're going to make sure that you have a browser open and you have logged into your Launchpad successfully. If you don't do that, you cannot launch Photoshop. Now, once you've done that, go ahead and double click on Photoshop by clicking on your search bar on the lower left-hand corner, typing in Photoshop and just clicking on it. Once you do that, you're going to get to a screen that looks similar to this. This is my home screen in Photoshop, and you have something that looks similar. You want to make sure, first of all, that you're properly logged in. There is an icon on the upper right-hand side corner that I have. So if I click on it, I'll pop up. My name will pop up here. Now, I double-clicked on it, so it went ahead and took me to the Adobe website, which you don't need to do, but you just want to make sure you're logged in. Okay, we're going to be doing a minimum of 3 different tutorials. Now, these are called in-app tutorials, meaning that all you got to do is follow the directions that's in the app and read the directions, read the explanations, and do the tasks. So to get started, you're going to notice your menu on the left-hand side. This is your navigation bar, and you're going to click on the one item called Learn. It's got a light bulb next to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Once you do, you're going to get a series of all these different tutorials. It says hands-on tutorials, and there's all these tutorials here and a bunch of different ones here. There's all kinds of tutorials, and we're going to be going back and doing this quite a bit. But for now, I want you to click on, well, we're going to be doing a minimum of 3. And here they are. Get to know the app, get to know layers, and get to know selections. Understanding the interface, understanding what layers are, and knowing what selections are vital in this class, especially with Photoshop. There's so much more to this. This is just getting your feet wet just a little bit. You're going to go ahead and click on the very first item that says get to know the app. So what's going to happen is, and I'm going to go ahead and move myself over and out of the way a little bit. You're going to get the Photoshop interface. Now, this is what I described in class. You have your main menu on the top. You have your tools on the left-hand side, like so. And you have your panels up here on the right. So the panels are something we're going to go into detail a little bit later, but you will be using them in here. So you'll see that there's another panel that's floating on top of what's called a canvas. That's what this white rectangle is. This is your work area. It's called a canvas. I'm going to go ahead and click on Start Tutorial. And right away I have an image that shows up. This is kind of cool. This is the crux, or why Photoshop is so awesome, how you can create so many interesting things with it. I have all these different image elements here. I got a sky, I got some planets, I got a couple of giraffes and a waterfall. These are all made by different image elements that were placed together, that were combined. Images are combined, these graphics are combined using what's called layers. And notice how I have this panel that showed up here called a layers panel. So you're going to get used to, and you're going to struggle quite a bit with the layers panel. This is how you learn. You're never going to learn this app by listening to me talk forever. You only learn it by doing it. So that's why I'm going to invite you to dive in, struggle, get stuck, and then get unstuck and have some aha moments. So here's how you do these tutorials. Once you click on begin, you're going to notice that there's a blue bubble that's going to pop up, and it's going to give you directions to do something. Here, it's not asking me to actually click on anything. It just wants me to look at this layers panel here and understand what it is, which is what I just described to you. And at the end of it, it says click next to continue. So I'm going to go down here and I'll click next. But before I do so, I want you to realize that I have a little blurb here. This is something that you do need to read before you go ahead and click next. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and click next. Here's the next set of directions or just text that you need to read. It says here to make designing flexible, you can turn layers on and off. So it's showing you that layers are very, very powerful, and you can also toggle them on and off so you can see underneath layers. You'll see this little teeny box next to each layer. To turn a layer on, you need to click on the little box, and what happens is a little eyeball shows up. This little eyeball icon means that, aha, everything on that layer is visible. If you click it again, it disappears. So did you notice how that big planet, that big giant moon disappeared? That's because I clicked on the little eyeball here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the journal. I'm going to go back to this activity here. You're basically going to read the directions, read what's going on here, click next when it tells you to hit next, and go all the way through the tutorial. So once you've done that, you're going to hit finish. Once you hit finish, you will do the next tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and click exit. Whoops. Try that again. Once you finish a tutorial, you will get a dialog box that shows up that says, hey, do you want to save your changes? In this case, guys, you can simply hit no. You don't need to save them. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this panel that's labeled Discover. Notice how there's 5 tutorials in this set. Now I'm going to be asking you for minimum credit to do the first 3. And notice how there is now a green check mark next to this tutorial. That's because I went through and finished the tutorial all the way through. So once you finish this first tutorial, you're going to do the next one, and then the next one. Once you're finished, guys, you will make a screenshot of this panel showing the 3 check marks next to each tutorial. Once you've made that screenshot, you're going to save that screenshot like you were taught previously and upload it to Canvas. Okay, guys, this is going to be a big step for all of you. Don't give up. It's going to be a lot of fun once you get used to how digital image editing works. And this is a very powerful program. It's been around forever, and I will walk you through it step by step to make sure it's fun. Okay, guys, enjoy your journey, and I'll talk to you soon.